Well, it's an absolutely gorgeous day, made even better by the appearance of this. Oh yes, this is from sunny Japan. Let's check it out. I love getting parcels from Kozi. He does do some great wrapping though. This is just the outside of the box. I reckon if Kozi had thrown this one in the sea, it would have bobbed here all by itself. Incredible, look at that lot. Wow. Anyway, we've got down to the meat and potatoes now. Here we are. Let's see if I can actually get into this pit. Oh yes, there we go. So that's the box itself. Let's have a look and see. We've got a little letter up the top here. Oh, Kid 5's here as well. Just
Can I read it?
Okay then, here we go.
Hi, my friend Chris. I will bless their all
Marriage.
with my
Heart.
And please enjoy the story of
Lupin.
the Third.
And Rolls-Royce needs 4 tyres, I think, from Kozi to Gucci from North Japan. Wow. Okay, this is really exciting. What we got? I can see there's some great stuff down the bottom there already, but let's move the box that way. Yeah, you open that one. I'm going to open this one. Wow. Oh, there's loads in here. Oh my word. Okay, so first up, it's one of these things, these special little racing cars. He sent one of these to Mark. Whoa, that's amazing. These are the ball-bearing beasties. It's absolutely perfect. Oh look, kid's got something out already. That is mate. What's this thing? That's like something from the zoo. It's a little Tomica. It's called the Lion Bus. It is nonetheless a bus. Wow. I suppose if you were going around the zoo in Japan, that's exactly what you would like to go in. I like it a lot. What else we got here? Got a little another little Tomica. This is called the Tomica Corolla. That's amazing. Does it open up at the back? Oh yes. That's awesome. Thanks, really, thank you so much, Kozi. I'm not expecting any of this stuff. Oh, look, this is an interesting one. I love these pieces from Tomica. Fully functional working little crane. It's called the Fuso Truck Crane. Wow. This is a tricky one to see. We'll have another. I'll take some pictures of all these. I'm actually in one of my favourite photographic locations. This is interesting. This is Maisto, is it? Maisto Ford Mustang GT. Whoa. Saw a bunch of Mustangs on the road yesterday on the way to London, being delivered to somewhere in the UK, and one of them was actually a GT. My wife likes the orange ones. If anyone's got a spare 2017 real Mustang in orange, my wife's up for it. Whoa, okay. What's in this box? Okay, nice box. Kozi makes boxes. I wonder if Kozi actually built this one. It's a nice little box. And this is a very nice little Cadillac. What is it? This looks like it's a Racing Champions Cadillac. Wow. Wow. This is one with actual non-broken bonnet on it. That's a cool piece. Thank you, Kozi. Trying to keep it with its box. What else we got? What's in this box? Now, I don't think Kozi made this one. This is an old perfume box. But inside, oh yes. Oh yes. Now that is a rare piece indeed in the UK. This is the Rolls-Royce Phantom Tomica. I've only ever seen it, well, I've never seen it in the pocket models, but this would have originally been a pocket car, possibly, had it been exported. But that is a beauty. It's the beast, a Phantom. Yeah, Rolls-Royce Phantom. Wow. Opening doors. That's cool. That's really, really cool. Wow. So we've got a Cadillac and a Phantom from around about the same period as well. And, whoa, oh, here we go. A Lamborghini Jolta. This is the premium Tomica range. Oh, he asked, he said, did I want one of these? I was like, yes please. Let's have a look at this. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. What's good about this one is it opens up at the back here. Nice. That is so nice. Wow. This is the racing, your racing Lamborghini Miura, basically. It's a special one-off. If I remember rightly, it probably blew up at some point. Right, Kid 5's got some excitement coming up. So let's have a look and see what she's got. Right, okay. You're not going to believe this. Check that out. Now this is a Hot Wheels Lupin the Third. I cannot believe he's managed to get hold of these. They're only released in Japan. They're these are a Hot Wheels special mix with Hasbro. Or not Hasbro, no, Bandai, sorry. So there's Bandai there in the corner. And I could not believe that they had well, basically this 2CV. But not only have they got the 2CV, they've also got, in the same series, and this one's like nice and loose, the Humber Super Snipe. And these little characters are hanging on the side. They're all from the cartoon, Lupin the Third. And finally, to finish off the set, and I cannot believe I got the set. Wow, look at that, the little 500. These are so cool, and they're loose as well. They're potentially loose. This one's not loose though. How annoying is that? But anyway, there we go. Thank you so much, Mr. Kozi Taguchi. I don't believe it. These are awesome. In fact, everything is awesome. Look at that lot. Thank you so much. I thought it'd be a good time to explain how and why Kozi sent some of these cars to me. The first piece is this 2010 Mustang. It's made by Maisto. And I do recall Kozi catching this car a couple of years ago now. And we sparked up conversation. And really from there, I believe this is probably the car that sealed our friendship. So that's really, really cool. Of course, it's the 2010 Mustang, some kind of GT, made by Maisto. And I think it's probably around about 155 scale. So I'm going to be storing that with my Siku collection, along with the Fast and Furious stuff. Very unusual piece. As you can see, it's it's almost grotesque, but it is basically an animal bus. It's actually called the Lion Bus, and it's there we go, number 26, made in China, Tomica. It's not new, 1991. So it's relatively old. It's kind of, I suppose it falls into the vintage category now. And this is one of Tomica's little tricks, is they send you a sticker sheet. And you can stick up the vehicle to whichever way you want, or whatever they provide you with. I'm guessing they provided us with tiger stickers. There may well have been lion stickers, but this one, no, I think this one they went with the stripes on the side there, which is very tiger. And of course, Kozi would probably have researched something about me and discovered that I am actually, my Chinese sign is a tiger. It's the mundane. Sometimes the mundane is interesting, and this is very interesting. This is a 1996 Corolla based, it's called a Spacio, the Spacio. It's a vehicle that stuck around in the Toyota lineup for quite some time. And it's an interesting car because it actually has several seats. It's got 2 in the front, 2 in the middle, and 3 at the back. So it's kind of an early attempt at giving mums more space on the school run. So it could almost be used as a taxi, couldn't it? I mean, it is a Corolla. And there you can actually see the seats in the back. So there's actually 2 seats in the back. I'm sure the actual vehicle probably has a slightly wider bench. I'm not sure. Probably get 3 in the back, but it is classified as a 6-seater. I can imagine Kozi actually driving around in one of these in Japan. Now this is, well, it's very old actually. This is from the Tomica range when they were made in Japan. You can see on the base there. Fuso truck crane made in Japan. Absolutely lovely piece. Massive features going on. Extendable crane, rotating. And it's really nice because, I mean, I like some collectors, myself included, try to collect original pieces or old pieces. And I know Kozi does the same thing as well. He's very into his old Tomicas. So this is a bit like having an old Matchbox Lesney Superfast. It's around about the same kind of age. So it's an absolutely wonderful piece. And a while back, Kozi sent me this little Komatsu digger. This is also made by Tomica. It's a little bit newer, from the 90s. And it actually sits really nicely next to this truck. As you can see, it's probably around about the same scale. So there we go. I've now got a couple of Tomica diggers and building vehicles. Very nice. This is a nice little vehicle actually, fully extendable. I wonder who's going to win the race on the highest. It's probably going to be the crane. And the crane just takes the pips the post. Look at that. Now this is very hard to come by, for me anyway. I'm sure Kozi probably had a few issues getting hold of this vehicle. This of course is the Rolls-Royce Phantom, and isn't she gorgeous? She's practically unplayed with. The wheels are perfect, the base, everything is just practically mint. And if you can see there, 1976 Tomy, and made in Japan. So this is exquisite. Absolutely beautiful. And I think I mentioned earlier, it would have been available in the pocket car range. That's a definite. And out of all the Tomica ranges that I try to collect in the vintage, is probably all the Tomica pocket cars. Just to give it some focus, otherwise you could go wild collecting every single Tomica. This one features opening door. That drives on the same side as I do, and they do in Japan too. And sellotape to the top of the box was this wheel. And now not all of you will know this if you're watching me for the very first time right now, but quite a while ago I picked up, as you can see that's a red line, I picked up This old red line, fairly battered, but not ridiculously beaten. Rolls Royce Silver Shadow, I think it is, yeah. I guess, yeah, Silver Shadow. As you can see there, this is a 1969 piece, so it would have been released in 1970. I think by 1970 they were starting to introduce enamel paints, and this looks like it has got an enamel finish to it. But it definitely needs restoring. And I'm guessing that as part of the restoration process, and massive thanks to Kozi, he sent me a wheel so that I could at least give it 4 wheels at some point. And I guess that's the challenge for me this month, is to try and restore this one. So Kozi, as massive thanks to you, I will try and fix this car up now. And finally, in probably the loose selection, we have this beautiful Cadillac. Now, I refrained from picking up Cadillacs from this brand. This is actually a racing champion. If you remember, probably over the new year, I was picking up some old racing champions that I discovered. And all the racing champion versions of this vehicle had, well, very, very badly corroded bonnets, and they were all cracked and broken and all the rest of it. And this one appears to be in rather good condition. It's very intricately moulded with all that detail inside there. And I expect they probably offer up fracture and stress points to the actual metal itself. You can see it's, you know, it's not the best metal in the world, this old Zamac stuff, or Mazak as you want to call it. We call it in England Mazak. But yeah, she's a beauty. Very nice scale. Looking 1/64, which is awesome. It's got lots of interesting details. I'd never noticed this little wing mirror before. But she needs a bit of a clean up, and I'm guessing that's my next job. But I left as is because it's nice to see. Yeah, she looks like she's been around the bushes a bit. Have a look at this piece. Now this is amazing. This is a freewheel Lotus 59F3B, and would probably have run in Formula Ford as its main racing, as opposed to Formula One. It's a racer from the late 60s, as you can see by the lack of spoilerage and protection for the driver. But typical of a Formula 3 car, probably right up until the 80s actually. Formula 3 and Formula Ford. But it's actually a pretty accurate model. The body and everything really represents the vehicle very well. It's quite a heavy piece. And the best thing about these freewheel models, apart from the intricate, I mean these screws, I've actually unscrewed it to try and, if I can, straighten up the wheels. If you notice, they're quite droopy, which in itself is not a big problem, but yeah, I couldn't quite get it apart because that would have meant removing these number 6s on the side here. And this piece is such an unusual example of a car. It's made in Japan, I believe, or is it made in China? It says they're made in Japan. So it's absolutely, can't explain it, absolutely beautiful. And these would have come in like a little racing car set, a lot like a Hot Wheels set, with track and corners and a little starting ramp, and would have probably put up quite a fight. And the freewheel aspect, when I looked it up on Google, freewheel means ball bearing hub. So I'm guessing right inside those hubs there, if you can make that out, there's little metal hubs on each of the wheels. And inside those are little tiny ball bearings. And I'm guessing But if I can get this car sorted out, I need some little axle straighteners or something. It's just very droopy. But if I could get this car sorted out, I reckon she'll be really fast. You can see it's got the ridged tyres there. Minimal contact with the track. Right now, when it touches the floor, it literally touches on 4 points, so it does slow it down somewhat. But I reckon this is probably going to be pretty fast. You can imagine sticking a little bit of oil in those axles, grease her up, she's ready to go. And even better, it comes with this box and explains there how to take it apart and probably how to help it out in emergencies. But it looks like there was 10 cars available in the series, and I know that Mark has got the yellow one. Beautiful. Lamborghini Miura Jota. This is another Tomica, 161 scale. It's quite a, well, it's actually a very new model. And both Kozi and myself are big appreciators of the Lamborghini Miura in particular. Out of all the Lamborghini class vehicles, this is probably both of our favourites. And quite some time ago, Kozi sent me this one here, which is a slightly smaller scale. Guessing around about 172 or thereabouts. But it's got the basic Jota configuration with the wider haunches and a big old chin spoiler on it. I'm not sure exactly what this one's called, but I'm guessing it's based off the Jota, probably a slightly later model. And just for comparison, we'll throw in the matchbox here. If you notice, the matchbox and the Tomica are roughly the same size. So that is just awesome to have these two beautiful cars to compare to each other. You notice on the side there it says Bertoni. So this is there we are, Bertoni. So Bertoni would have been in there designing this car. And there we go, there's the inline 12-cylinder engine. Beautiful. But it's a lovely model from Tomica, the Tomica premium line. I'm guessing that they would have tried to use this car to race. But it's basically a designer version of the Miura. Yeah, look at the back there. They ripped the bumper off. It's essentially the same vehicle, just with extra parts and performance probably. Okay, you eagle-eyed people out there, I know you've seen and been looking at these vehicles in the back here, and I think it's time we had an explanation, because these are all characters from a 1979 classic film by a very well-known Japanese director, Mr. Miyazaki, I think it is. But anyway, he made this film. There's a series of films about a character, Lupin III, and Lupin III is well, what one can only describe as a gentleman thief. And these vehicles are all from a film called The Castle of Cagliostro. And Cagliostro is a small country ruled by the Count of Cagliostro. And Lupin III has to go there on a business mission to discover why he has won lots of counterfeit money that was produced by the bad Count. So first up, I think we'll look at this Humber Super Snipe, given that these are the bad guys. Packaging is amazing, of course. It's got there a little bit of historical information, and So we can get around the top there. Yeah, there we go. So they're all from 2002, and this film was re-released in English in 2000, and I'm guessing as part of the promotion for that reintroduction of the film, I'm guessing that Mattel must have got together with Bandai. I'm guessing is another company owned by Mattel, possibly, to produce these absolutely beautiful little models. As you can see, the packaging is opening up nicely. The glue on these is particularly old, so they pretty much fall off the front, and they're very heavy models, so yeah. So this guy here, he actually connects through the window, much like the other guy on the other side. They're actually made out of a very malleable latex, rubbery sort of material. I'll just hang him on there for now. So let's have a look around this. This is the Humber Super Snipe. Got little rubber wheels on there. Look, these are actually rubber. Amazing. Screwed down base, made in China, Mattel, Hot Wheels. So that's the genuine article. The only bit of plastic on these is pretty much the base and probably the interior. And all the interiors are all nicely painted up. You can see the guy just comes straight off. Might as well have them off. And have a good look around this vehicle. Very unusual. Chromed plastic front end. Lots of parts on these as well. They are really just exquisite. It's got a little driver in there. You can see lots of space. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. It's amazing that Kozi has actually managed to find these for me, because they are actually only available really on the Japanese market. When I was researching them initially, I came across some American examples, and they were being sold for ridiculous money. We're talking 65 to 85 and up for the full set, of course. Now this Citroen I've just chucked in here, this is 155 scale, and I'm guessing that these pieces are going to be falling around about 155, 156 scale. So they kind of fit nicely with the Siku and the other film cars that are produced in China, funnily enough, by Mattel for their Fast and Furious series. So I'm wondering if it's the same factory. And it is designed to be a toy, and as you will see, here's the Siku running. It rolls, but check this out. Wow, now that is what you call smooth. Oh yes, so it could be hanging out the door here. That's kind of what you'd be doing. But that's amazing. It's great to have some little figures at last. And these guys, they're pretty mean. Let's have a look at them. So quite a lot of detail for the size of him. Very nice. His little double-breasted gangster jacket and his little bowler hat. Very, very cool. Look at this one. Now this is Lupin the Third's car. This is a Fiat 500 and it's coming off. Now when I asked, of course, knowing that they were only available in Japan, there was only one person I could possibly ask to find these for me, and that was my very good friend Kozi-san. So we'll have a look around the back. Now Kozi didn't promise anything. I didn't expect him to be honest. I just kind of put it out there. I said, Kozi, is there any way you could possibly find these in Japan? Because there's no way I'm going to find these on eBay or anywhere else like that at a reasonable price. So he said, okay Chris, I'll have a look, see what we can come up with. And I think he managed to find these, and I hope he did manage to find these at a reasonable price, given that the cards aren't perfect and, you know, the general overall situation is not perfection. But to me, these are absolutely perfect because I can take them off the cards. I can keep those cards, which I will, and I'm going to display them because they're just awesome. And I can actually now play with the models and hopefully take some lovely pictures, because I'm just dying to do a nice little photo shoot with these. So let's have a look around this lovely little Fiat 500. Again, it's in scale, with the Super Snipe, so it's going to be around about 155 scale. It features Jigen sticking out the top there. Lovely detail, very cartoony. One thing about Japanese cartoons, they love to feature European vehicles, and they often feature the vehicles in very good detail and proportion, which is amazing, really. Absolutely amazing attention to detail. You'll see those tank films, they have the perfect little tanks with the little cartoon people driving them. And the same can be said for this this series as well. So here's the Fiat 500. Now this is the Hot Wheels Bandai release. Now I do actually have another one of these sent to me by Kozi, and this is the Tomica version. As you can see, it's a lot bigger, and of course the Tomica version is in 151 scale. It's probably a lot more accurate as far as Fiat 500 detailings go. But I think that the this little version is pretty cool. If you notice, it's got the all the luggage on the top there. It must be when they set off to go to rescue the princess, or whatever her name is, the countess to be. Little Fiat 500 action at the back there. Lovely details. I mean, look at that. They've even put on indicators on the Hot Wheel version. Big old exhaust thing going on at the back. So all in all, pretty nice. What about the paint? The paint's pretty much the same. Just love them both actually. But of course, the new little baby has just come in, so it's going to get a bit more love for now. The big reason why I asked Kozi initially to find these cars, and in particular this car, is because I am a collector of 2CVs in this scale. And when I was researching the different models available, it came to light that there was this car out there. And I just accidentally, as I was perusing, came across it. And that was really the reason why I asked Kozi. I said, Kozi, is there any way you could find this? And then we discovered that not only was there this car, but there was all the other ones as well, which made a little set, which made it rather annoying, which pretty much put me off from pursuing the situation, because it was going to get way too expensive. But this was the main reason for all the fuss in the first place. And there you can see Clarissa, nicely modelled in the car there, driving for her life, or her freedom. Look at all that detail in there. Absolutely beautiful. All red seats and everything. Lovely little pink car. It's so befitting of a little lady. And of course, this is modelled off of the earliest version of this car, which was from what, 1946 or thereabouts, or whenever it came out. And now, just to show you really why I wanted this car, I've got in my little no rev, and my no rev runs in at around about 156 scale, which is only one notch down from 155 scale. And if we have a look at that, you can see pretty blatantly that it's around about the same size. So it fits really nicely into my 2CV collection. Beautiful thing. So there's the later model. This is from the 1980s or thereabouts. The 2CV was in production forever. If you notice, this one's got the suicide doors. Not much on the base there. Of course, you never get much on a no-rev base anyway, but essentially the details are the same. You know, suspension, shocks and everything else are on there. And again, absolutely blinding runner. The no-rev's not too bad, a bit better than the Siku, but these Bandais are amazing. I'm wondering what they might be like down the track. And there you go. So, Mr. Kozi Taguchi, you have absolutely made my month, my week, and my year. And I am absolutely stunned. Thank you so much for everything. Thank you very, very much indeed for these amazing vehicles. I would never have been able to get this normally. So yeah, big hats off, big shout. Go and check Kozi out. He's out there on YouTube. He's making videos and doing Instagramming, and at the moment he's deep in reconstructing and resto modding. And go and check him out. He's a lovely guy, so feel free to go and chat with him as well. This is K5 with the Clarissa and Lupin the Third saying ta-ta for now.